Welcome back to my channel Kishore Sir Ki Pathshala. We are doing chapter acid, bases and salts 10 Cbse. So last time we have seen how metals reacts with bases and how they reacts with acid. Today we are going to see how this reaction takes place, how the reaction of metal carbonates and metal hydrogen carbonates is there with acids as such. So let's see. Right. So metal carbonate means what? There will be a metal and we need to take carbonate along with that. For example, if I have sodium carbonate, that is my Na2CO3. Right. That is my sodium carbonate. Okay. So I will write down magnesium carbonate. Magnesium carbonate will be MgCO3. That's my magnesium carbonate, like this. So metal carbonate will be there, right? And metal hydrogen carbonate means what? I have got sodium hydrogen carbonate, right? So this is my metal hydrogen carbonate. So sodium bicarbonate. So what we need to do, we need to take two test tubes we are taking and we are labeling them as A and B respectively, right? So what we are doing, we are taking 0.5 grams of sodium carbonate in one test tube, that is my test tube A, and about 0.5 grams of sodium bicarbonate in test tube B, right? And what we are doing, we are adding 2 ml of HCl in both the test tubes respectively, right? Okay, here you see what we are doing. Here hydrochloric acid is there and sodium carbonate. Sodium carbonate is here and we are putting hydrochloric acid into this, right, to the crystal funnel. And you see the delivery tube is there. So from this a gas evolves. Gas evolves and we collect this gas in a test tube, right? So see the reaction. It's sodium carbonate. It's sodium carbonate reacts with hydrochloric acid to give me what? Salt. That is my sodium chloride. Salt will be there along with water and carbon dioxide, right? So what we see here is that sodium carbonate reacts with hydrochloric acid to give me sodium chloride, water and carbon dioxide. Now this carbon dioxide gas produced in both the cases, see the reaction is the same, right? In both the cases the reaction is the same. The carbon dioxide which has been produced is passed through lime water. So this is my lime water. This is a confirmatory test for what? For carbon dioxide. So lime water, which is nothing but freshly prepared calcium hydroxide solution. Okay, so lime water turns milky in this case. Okay, see here what is happening in lime water, that is calcium hydroxide CaOH twice, and I am putting carbon dioxide into it. So what will happen, I will get an insoluble precipitate of calcium carbonate. Okay, that is my insoluble precipitate of calcium carbonate I will get along with water. So that is the white in color and that's the reason the color of the lime water turns milky, right? Suppose if we add excess of carbon dioxide, okay, suppose excess of carbon dioxide is being added into this lime water, okay, that is my calcium hydroxide was there. So I have put excess in this, right? So what will happen? Now you know that first of all what is been formed here? Calcium carbonate was formed, right? That turned the lime water milky because of this insoluble precipitate. That along with the water which was present and now excess of carbon dioxide been added. Okay. So what I will get? I will get calcium bicarbonate, right? I will get calcium bicarbonate. Now this calcium bicarbonate is soluble in water. Means what? Means that will be soluble in water. It will go into the water, right? And what will happen? The milky color of the solution will disappear as calcium bicarbonate is soluble in water. Okay, so lime water, chalk, marble, these are what? These are the different forms of calcium carbonate. So all metal carbonate and hydrogen carbonate, they will react with acid to give the corresponding salt, carbon dioxide and water respectively. Right? Okay, so like this will be the, see, this is the general statement or general reaction, metal carbonate or metal hydrogen carbon along with acid. It gives me what? Salt. It will give me carbon dioxide and it will give me water. So this is the reaction we need to remember, right? Okay, the general reaction, metal carbonate or metal hydrogen carbonate will give me what? Acid plus acid will give me salt, carbon dioxide and water, right? Now let's see how do acid and bases react with each other. If we bring acid and bases in front of each other, how they will react. Okay, for that what we need to do? We need to do another experiment. We are taking 2 ml of sodium hydroxide, okay, in a test tube. In a test tube we are taking and we are adding 2 drops of phenolphthalein into it. Now what will happen? The color will change pink, right? The color changes pink. Now why this pink color appears? This is because when phenolphthalein is added to the base, okay, sodium hydroxide is a base, what happens? The phenolphthalein, it ionizes, okay, phenolphthalein will ionize and what will happen is that it forms phenolphthalein ion, okay, phenolphthalein ions will be formed, okay, which makes this solution pink, right? This pink color is due to the ionized phenolphthalein ion. Okay, then let's see, is there any color change for the reaction mixture? Right, now then what we need to do? We need to add dilute hydrochloric acid drop by drop. Dilute hydrochloric acid we are adding drop by drop to this solution. Now what happens? The pink color starts to disappear, okay, the pink color which was formed in base, now it's disappearing. Why it disappears? Because when acid is added to the solution, the phenolphthalein ions, they are converted back to what? Phenolphthalein molecules, right? Phenolphthalein molecules, they are converted back, okay, making the solution colorless, making the solution colorless. So phenolphthalein molecules are what? They are colorless. Phenolphthalein ions are what? They are pink in color, right? Okay, so now what we see is that the pink color starts to disappear, okay. Now add few drops of sodium hydroxide to the above mixture. If we add more sodium hydroxide, now what will happen? The quantity of the base will increase and the color of the solution will change to pink, right? Okay, pink color will appear. And why this thing happens is that because you're adding the amount of base of sodium hydroxide increases. As the amount of base sodium hydroxide increases, then what happens is that the phenolphthalein ions are formed, right? Okay, ions are formed and that's the reason the solution becomes pink. Now let's see the reaction which has been taken place in this regards. Okay, base is my sodium hydroxide, okay, this is my acid. Okay, so sodium hydroxide reacts with hydrochloric acid to give me salt and water, right? Okay, so acid reacts with the base to give me salt and water, right? So this reaction between an acid and base to give salt and water is known as neutralization reaction. A very important statement. What is a neutralization reaction? The reaction between an acid and base to give salt and water is known as neutralization reaction. Okay, so in general, we can write down what? Base reacts with acid to give me salt and water, right? Base reacts with acid to give me salt and water. Now let's see reaction of metallic oxides with acids, right? So for this, what we need to do? We need to take a small amount of copper oxide. We have taken a small amount of copper oxide in a beaker. We need to take that in a beaker, right? Okay, and add dilute hydrochloric acid to it. We have taken copper oxide this way and we are adding dilute hydrochloric acid to it. Okay, and slowly by stirring it, right? Then what happens? The blue-green color of the solution appears. Okay, the copper oxide it dissolves, and what we get, a blue-green color is formed due to the formation of copper 2 chloride. So we get copper 2 chloride in the reaction, and the reaction can be written as, see, a copper oxide reacts with hydrochloric acid. Copper oxide reacts with hydrochloric acid to give me copper chloride plus water, right? Okay, now if you see, the reaction is between the metal and an acid. Okay, so last time what we have seen, base and acid gives me salt and water, right? Last time we have seen, okay, base reacting with acid to give me salt and water. This reaction is also like that only. See, this copper oxide is reacting with acid to give me salt and water, right? So copper oxide is behaving like what? It is behaving like what? It is behaving like an base. Okay, and it is behaving like a base. Okay, so reaction can be written as metal oxide plus acid gives me salt and water. Since the metallic oxide reacts with acid to give salt and water, similar to the reaction of a base with an acid, metallic oxide are also called as basic oxide. Why metallic oxide or basic oxide? Because metallic oxide reacts with acid to give salt and water, similar to the reaction of a base with an acid. Right? So we have understood what is a basic oxide all about. Now let's see a reaction of a non-metallic oxide with a base. Non-metallic oxide, we can take carbon dioxide, non-metal. Carbon is a non-metal oxide. So carbon dioxide. Okay, so this is a non-metallic oxide. Let us react that with a base. Okay, let us take a base, calcium hydroxide. Okay, so now this reacts with this and we get what? You remember the reaction in which we have put carbon dioxide in a lime water which turns it milky? Yes, so this salt we are getting, that is the calcium carbonate we are getting, which is a white precipitate and along with water. So this reaction is also like that, a base reacting with something called as acid to give me salt and water. Alright, okay. Since this is the similar to the reaction between a base and an acid, we can conclude that non-metallic oxide, so this is a non-metallic oxide, here you see, non-metallic oxide are what? They are acidic in nature. Okay, acidic in nature. Okay, so student, today we have understood what is a acidic in nature for non-metallic oxide. For metallic oxide, how it is a basic in nature, right? Okay, how the reaction with hydrogen carbonate is there, right? So all this reaction we have seen today. So I'm sure you have understood today's topic. So kindly like, share and subscribe my channel Kishore Sir Ki Pathshala for more informative videos.